In India, most of us don't fear being wrong. We fear questioning authority. And for most of us, this authority first comes in a familiar form, which is elders. And that fear is not limited to age, it quietly extends to institutions, beliefs, traditions, etc. We almost are very comfortable questioning systems, governments, rules, even workplaces. But when it comes to questioning elders, that feels like crossing a line. It is about why dialogue feels difficult when authority is involved. This fear isn't personal, it's structural. In hierarchical societies like India, authority was decided by age, religion, caste, social role, etc. The ones in authority were elders, men, upper castes. For example, women were judged or punished more when they questioned elders or traditions. So were the people from marginalized communities. Therefore, questioning didn't mean the same for everyone. Silence wasn't just obedience, it was protection. Over time, obedience became moralized. We called it sanskar, values, good upbringing. Once obedience becomes morality, questioning becomes a character flaw. Questions sound curious for some, whereas arrogance from others. Often, authority isn't enforced through logic, but through emotions, disappointment, guilt, silence. Sociologist Ashish Nandi noted that Indian families often rely on emotional authority instead of dialogue. This makes questioning feel not just incorrect but immoral. At home, most of us grow up hearing things like, don't talk back, we know better, you'll understand when you grow up later. Over time, having an opinion starts to feel like disrespect, especially when it differs from that of parents. Most parents genuinely want the best for their children. Their intentions are rarely harmful, but they grew up in a system where hierarchy was normal. So when children grow up and take decisions that they don't approve of in terms of career, marriage, lifestyle, it starts to feel like disrespect. School strengthens this training. We are rewarded for memorizing, not for questioning. The good student is quiet, obedient, compliant. Slowly, we stop asking the things the question why. Not because we do not have questions, but questioning feels risky. Philosopher Paulo Freire called this the banking model of education, where students store information instead of developing a thought. Therefore, we grow up informed but uncomfortable with disagreements. And to be clear, science does tell us that brain, especially the frontal lobe responsible for judgment, continues to develop into our early 20s. And that explains why guidance matters, but not why questioning is discouraged. Even religious and mythological traditions reinforce this idea. Across various stories of dharma, obedience to elders and authority is portrayed as moral virtue, something to be followed and not questioned. Over time, we absorb this as belief, more than that as cultural pride, and therefore we start associating questioning to moral failure rather than curiosity. The cost of all this fear is not rebellion, it's silence. Careers chosen out of pressure, women silencing themselves early, lower voices never becoming confident ones, silence mistaken for harmony. People grow up unable to express disagreements or set boundaries or trust their own judgments. In India, many studies have been linked to lack of autonomy and family pressure to anxiety and depression among young adults. Questioning elders doesn't mean rejecting their experiences. Often they turn out to be right, only in ways we realize later. But understanding grows through dialogue, not just obedience, through reasons and not through silence. The dialogue doesn't only help the younger ones, it also helps the elders to reflect as to why they are saying what they're saying, instead of just passing down what was once passed on to them. That turns experience into wisdom and not just instructions. Respect that comes out of understanding is much stronger. Because, lastly, respect that cannot survive a question is not respect, it is fear.